My best friend posted herself partying in Spain, while her daughter was dying in the hospital, so I beach slapped her with reality. My best friend Reagan had always dreamed of being a mother. Ever since we were teenagers, she'd constantly talk about what kind of mom she'd be and how many kids she'd have. So when Ava was born, Reagan was over the moon, and I was just as happy. I'd never seen her glow so bright. Our daughters, Ava and my Celine, grew up together like sisters, spending weekends and holidays at each other's houses. Fast forward 15 years. Reagan asked if I could watch Ava for a week while she took a solo vacation to Bali. It wasn't unusual. Reagan liked her breaks, and Ava practically lived at my house anyway. The first 2 days were fine, typical teen stuff, Netflix marathons, junk food, all of that. But on day 3, things took a turn. At dinner, I called Ava down from her room, but she didn't answer. Celine said she hadn't seen Ava since breakfast, which was odd. I walked upstairs, knocked on her door, but got nothing. The door was unlocked, but Ava wasn't there. Her window was open, her phone was on the bed, and her wallet was gone. My heart started racing. I checked everywhere. The bathroom, the backyard, called her friends. Nothing. Celine mentioned Ava had been texting someone new lately, someone she met online. That's when I found her laptop, still logged into a chat app. The messages made my blood run cold. Some guy had been grooming Ava for weeks, and the last message confirmed they were meeting at the bus station. It was already 3 hours too late. I immediately called 911, then Reagan. She answered from what sounded like a beach party. Through panicked breaths, I explained Ava was missing, possibly abducted. There was a long pause before Reagan said, "Check the mall." I explained about the predator, the police involvement, the Amber Alert. She actually laughed, insisting Ava was being dramatic for attention. The police issued an Amber Alert. I sent Reagan everything, screenshots, photos, the case number. Her response arrived an hour later. This is why I needed vacation. 36 hours later, a jogger found Ava abandoned in a park 3 towns over. She was alive, but different. In a bush, not speaking, not calling for help, just laying there with eyes wide open like being dead was better than living. At the hospital, the doctors confirmed the worst. Her thighs had been beyond bruised, her nether region had been violated, and her back door extremely hemorrhaged. I called Reagan immediately, sobbing. I told her they found Ava, that she was hospitalized, that something terrible had happened. Reagan asked if she was alive. When I confirmed yes, but explained the severity, there was silence. Then she mentioned flight change fees and how doctors could handle it. Her return flight was in 4 days, and she saw no reason to change it. I hung up on her, too disgusted to continue. For the next 4 days, I lived at that hospital. Ava would only speak to whisper my name. She had night terrors. She flinched when male doctors entered. The police collected evidence. Detectives interviewed her when she could manage a few words. And through it all, her mother posted beach selfies with captions about living her best life and good vibes only. When I sent Reagan a photo of Ava's bandaged wrists after a self-harm attempt, Reagan suggested maybe a facility would be better. Reagan finally showed up at my house, a full day after landing, deeply tanned and relaxed. She'd come to collect Ava from the hospital earlier that day, but Ava had begged to stay with me instead. She gave Ava an awkward half hug, then immediately asked about the luggage she'd left before vacation. As I explained Ava's recovery plan, the therapy she'd need, the ongoing investigation, Reagan's face darkened with each word. The detective had called about needing Reagan's statement. The therapist wanted family sessions. There would be court dates. Suddenly, Reagan snapped. She stood up, accusing me of parenting her child behind her back. Her voice got louder, shouting about overstepping boundaries and blowing things out of proportion. She met a stranger, Reagan spat. Play stupid games. That's when I heard a choked sob from the hallway. Ava stood frozen, tears streaming down her cheeks. Reagan barely glanced at her daughter. My heart pounded. I shouted back, telling her she chose the beach over her traumatized daughter. But Reagan just scoffed, rolling her eyes, insisting teens are dramatic and I should have known better. That was it. I snapped and unloaded everything. I told her she was selfish, negligent, that her daughter's safety meant less to her than a full moon party, that she blamed a traumatized child for being groomed and attacked. Reagan's voice lowered, venomous and cold. You don't understand needing a break. At that exact moment, something between us shattered completely. I saw who Reagan really was, and I knew instantly our friendship was beyond repair. Reagan grabbed Ava's bag and demanded she leave, but Ava locked herself in my bathroom, sobbing uncontrollably, refusing to go. And that's when Reagan lost it. She began yelling, accusing me of kidnapping her daughter, of turning Ava against her. Before I knew it, her phone was out and she was calling the police. Full story on channel linked below.